The way a child is raised, the experiences they have, and the social interactions they encounter can significantly influence the extent of their introversion. Monica Johnson. While we all need some me time every now and then, that solitude can be make or break for some of us. Introverts typically get more energy and recharge by spending more time alone than with others. By definition, introversion is a personality trait characterized by a focus on internal feelings rather than on external sources of stimulation. That being said, introverts and extroverts are often viewed in terms of two extreme opposites, but the truth is that most people land somewhere in the middle. While introverts make up an estimated 25% to 40% of the population, there are still many misconceptions about this personality type. It is also important to note that being an introvert does not mean that you are socially anxious or shy. If you're not sure whether you're an introvert, an extrovert, or an ambivert, taking an introvert versus extrovert test may help you get a better idea of which category suits your personality. Otherwise, read on to get a deeper understanding of what it means to have a more introverted personality. What is an introvert personality? We might hear people use the words withdrawn or introspective as synonyms for introvert. Introverts tend to be more quiet, reserved, and introspective. Extroverts gain energy from social interaction, while introverts expend energy in social situations. After attending a party or spending time with a large group of people, introverts often feel a need to recharge by spending time alone. One introversion is generally viewed as existing as part of a continuum along with extroversion. Introversion indicates one end of the scale, while extroversion represents the other end. The terms introversion and extroversion were popularized through the work of Carl Jung, and later became central parts of other prominent theories, including the Big Five theory of personality. The introversion-extroversion dimension is also one of the 4 areas identified by the Myers-Briggs type indicator. According to many theories of personality, everyone has some degree of both introversion and extroversion. However, people often tend to lean one way or the other. What are the signs of an introvert? The following are just a few of the signs that you or someone you know might be an introvert. 1. Being around lots of people drains your energy. Do you ever feel exhausted after spending time with a lot of people? After a day interacting with others, do you often need to retreat to a quiet place and have an extended amount of time to yourself? One of the major characteristics of this personality type is that introverts have to expend energy in social situations, unlike extroverts who gain energy from such interactions. This phenomenon can be understood through the lens of psychological and neurological research. Studies have shown that introverts and extroverts process social stimuli differently. Introverts typically have a more active prefrontal cortex, the part of the brain associated with decision-making, social behavior, and regulating behavior. This increased activity means that social interactions can require more cognitive effort, leading to a quicker depletion of energy. Moreover, introverts often have a higher sensitivity to dopamine, a neurotransmitter associated with reward and pleasure. While extroverts thrive on the dopamine rush they get from socializing, introverts can become overstimulated, leading to feelings of fatigue and a need to recharge in solitude. This doesn't mean that introverts avoid social interactions altogether. Many introverts actually enjoy spending time around others, but they tend to prefer the company of close friends. Introverts also often engage in what's known as social mirroring, adapting their behavior to match those around them. This can be particularly draining as it requires constant attention and adjustment to social cues. While an extrovert might go to a party with the goal to meet new people, an introvert intends to spend time talking to good friends. For introverts, meaningful one-on-one interactions are more fulfilling than engaging in small talk with strangers. This preference aligns with the theory that introverts seek depth over breadth in their social connections. In addition to psychological factors, Cultural and environmental influences can also play a role in how introverts experience social interactions. In cultures that value extroversion and social assertiveness, introverts may feel additional pressure to conform, leading to further exhaustion. Understanding these dynamics can help introverts develop strategies to manage their energy levels, such as setting boundaries, planning downtime after social events, and focusing on quality over quantity in their relationships. By recognizing and respecting their unique social needs, introverts can create a balanced lifestyle that allows them to enjoy social interactions without feeling drained. This self-awareness not only enhances their well-being, but also contributes to more authentic and fulfilling connections with others. 2. You enjoy solitude. As an introvert, your idea of a good time is a quiet afternoon to yourself to enjoy your hobbies and interests. Activities like time alone with a good book, a peaceful nature walk, or watching your favorite television program help you feel recharged and energized. This does not mean that introverts want to be alone all the time. Many introverts love spending time with friends and interacting with familiar people in social situations. The key thing to remember is that after a long day of social activity, an introvert will probably want to retreat to a quiet place to think, reflect, and recharge. If having a few hours to be alone sounds like your idea of a good time, you just might be an introvert. 3. You have a small group of close friends. One common misconception about introverts is that they don't like people. While introverts typically do not enjoy a great deal of socializing, they do enjoy having a small group of friends with whom they are particularly close. Instead of having a large social circle of people they know only on a superficial level, introverts prefer to stick to deep, long-lasting relationships marked by a great deal of closeness and intimacy. Introverts' preference for deeper connections is rooted in their need for meaningful interactions. Research in psychology suggests that introverts are more attuned to their internal experiences and emotions, which makes them seek out and value relationships that provide emotional depth and understanding. This focus on quality over quantity allows introverts to invest more time and energy into nurturing their close relationships, leading to stronger and more resilient bonds. Of the many strengths of introverts, one is that they tend to create profound and significant relationships with those closest to them. They also prefer to interact with people on a one-on-one basis rather than in a large group setting. This preference is not only more comfortable for introverts but also allows for more intimate and sincere conversations, which introverts find more fulfilling. When introverts engage in one-on-one interactions, they can give their full attention to the other person, fostering a deeper connection and a greater sense of mutual understanding. If your social circle tends to be small but very close, there's a pretty good chance you are an introvert. Introverts often choose their friends based on shared values, interests, and emotional compatibility. This selective approach means that their friendships are often more enduring and meaningful. In contrast, while extroverts generally have a wide circle of friends and acquaintances, introverts typically choose their friends much more carefully. Neurological studies have shown that introverts' brains respond differently to social rewards compared to extroverts. For example, introverts exhibit lower sensitivity to the neurotransmitter dopamine, which drives reward-seeking behavior. This difference means that introverts are less motivated by the social rewards of meeting new people and more interested in the deeper emotional rewards of close relationships. Additionally, introverts often possess strong listening skills, empathy, and the ability to engage in reflective thinking, which further enhances their ability to form and maintain deep relationships. These qualities make introverts valuable friends who offer genuine support and understanding. In summary, introverts thrive on the depth and quality of their relationships rather than the breadth. Their small but close-knit social circles are a testament to their ability to form meaningful connections that are rich in trust, loyalty, and emotional support. By embracing their preference for deeper relationships, introverts can create a supportive and fulfilling social network that meets their unique needs and enriches their lives. 4. People may find it difficult to get to know you. Introverts are often described as quiet, reserved, and mellow, and are sometimes mistaken for being shy. While some introverts certainly are shy, people should not mistake an introvert's reserve for timidity. In many cases, people with this personality type simply prefer to choose their words carefully and not waste time or energy on needless chit-chat. This tendency to be more reserved is often rooted in an introvert's preference for depth over breadth in their interactions. Introverts typically think before they speak and are more deliberate with their communication. They value thoughtful conversation and are often more reflective, which can make them appear distant or hard to get to know. However, this should not be mistaken for a lack of interest or social anxiety. Introverts often need time to process information internally before they feel comfortable sharing their thoughts. This reflective nature means they might not be the first to speak up in a group setting, but when they do contribute, their insights are often well considered and meaningful. This careful approach to communication can sometimes be misinterpreted as aloofness or disinterest, when in fact it is a sign of their thoughtful nature. If you are the quiet type and a bit reserved, you probably are an introvert. Introverts often prefer to observe and listen in social situations, gathering information and understanding the dynamics before engaging. This can make their interactions seem more cautious, but it also allows them to connect on a deeper level once they do open up. Scientific research supports the idea that introverts process social interactions differently. Studies have shown that introverts tend to have higher levels of cortical arousal, which makes them more sensitive to external stimuli. This heightened sensitivity can lead them to seek out quieter, less stimulating environments where they can recharge. As a result, introverts might avoid loud, bustling social settings in favor of more intimate gatherings where meaningful conversations can take place. Moreover, introverts often have a rich inner world and spend a lot of time engaged in introspection and self-reflection. This internal focus can sometimes make them appear distant, but it also means that when they do share their thoughts, their contributions are often profound and insightful. In relationships, introverts may take longer to open up, but once they do, they form strong and lasting bonds. They tend to be loyal friends and partners who are deeply invested in the well-being of those they care about. Their reserved nature does not mean they are uninterested in others. Rather, it reflects their preference for meaningful and authentic connections. In conclusion, while introverts may appear reserved and quiet, this is not a sign of shyness or disinterest. Their thoughtful and reflective approach to communication and social interaction allows them to form deep, meaningful connections with others. Understanding this can help others appreciate the unique strengths introverts bring to their relationships and interactions. 5. Too much stimulation leaves you feeling distracted. For introverts, navigating highly stimulating environments can often feel like walking through a maze of distractions. Unlike extroverts who thrive on bustling activity and constant engagement, introverts are more sensitive to external stimuli and can quickly become overwhelmed by too much sensory input. Research has highlighted that introverts tend to be more easily distracted compared to their extroverted counterparts. This heightened sensitivity to external stimuli means that environments with lots of noise, movement, or rapid changes can be particularly challenging for introverts to navigate comfortably. One of the core reasons introverts may feel overwhelmed in such settings is their preference for a quieter, less chaotic environment. They often find solace in spaces where they can focus deeply on their thoughts and activities without constant interruptions. This need for calm and order helps introverts maintain their inner equilibrium and recharge their energy reserves. In contrast, extroverts thrive in dynamic and lively environments where they can engage with a variety of people and activities. They often seek out stimulation and enjoy environments that offer continuous opportunities for interaction and excitement. For them, The buzz of activity and social engagement is energizing rather than draining. If you find yourself feeling distracted, unfocused, or mentally exhausted after spending time in busy social situations or hectic environments, it may be a sign that you lean more towards the introverted end of the personality spectrum. Introverts typically prefer meaningful conversations over small talk and value depth of interaction over breadth. Understanding these differences can help introverts manage their energy more effectively by recognizing when they need to retreat to quieter settings to recharge. It also underscores the importance of creating environments that cater to different personality types, allowing both introverts and extroverts to thrive in their own ways. 6. You are very self-aware. One hallmark trait of introverts is their propensity for introspection and self-awareness. Unlike extroverts who often seek external stimulation, introverts turn inward, delving deep into their own thoughts, emotions, and experiences. If you find yourself frequently reflecting on your own internal world, your motivations, feelings, and reactions, you likely resonate with the introspective nature of introverts. This self-awareness is not just a casual observation, but a deliberate effort to understand oneself on a profound level. Introverts often enjoy spending time in solitary activities that allow them to explore their thoughts and feelings without external distractions. This introspective tendency fuels their desire for self-discovery and personal growth. They may engage in activities like journaling, meditation, or deep conversations with close friends to gain insights into their own psyche. Research suggests that introverts tend to have a richer inner life compared to extroverts, who thrive more on external interactions and experiences. This inner focus enables introverts to develop a strong sense of self and to navigate life with a heightened awareness of their strengths, weaknesses, and aspirations. Self-awareness plays a pivotal role in the lives of introverts, influencing their decisions, relationships, and personal development. They often seek out hobbies and interests that align with their values and inner passions, preferring activities that offer opportunities for introspection and learning. If you find fulfillment in understanding yourself deeply, exploring your inner thoughts, and engaging in activities that nurture your personal growth, these are telltale signs of introversion. Embracing your introspective nature can empower you to leverage your self-awareness as a strength, enabling you to navigate life with clarity and authenticity. 7. You like to learn by watching. One distinguishing characteristic of introverts is their preference for learning through observation rather than direct participation. While extroverts often thrive on hands-on experience and learning through trial and error, introverts tend to take a more cautious and deliberate approach to acquiring new skills and knowledge. If you find yourself inclined to observe others before attempting something new, you likely resonate with the learning style typical of introverts. Introverts often prefer to watch others perform a task multiple times, analyzing and internalizing the steps involved before feeling confident enough to try it themselves. This methodical approach allows introverts to build a solid foundation of understanding and competence before engaging actively in a new activity. Unlike extroverts who may enjoy learning in dynamic, interactive settings, introverts often seek out quiet environments where they can observe without external pressures or distractions. When introverts do engage in hands-on learning, they often prefer to do so in a private or controlled setting, where they can practice without the scrutiny of others. This allows them to refine their skills and build confidence at their own pace, emphasizing depth of understanding over immediate performance. Research suggests that introverts' preference for observational learning is rooted in their introspective nature and desire for mastery. By carefully observing and analyzing, introverts can gain a thorough understanding of a subject or task before applying their knowledge in practical settings. If you find satisfaction and competence in learning through observation, taking time to absorb information deeply before taking action, these tendencies align with the introspective and deliberate approach characteristic of introverts. Embracing your preferred learning style can enhance your ability to acquire knowledge effectively and confidently in various aspects of life. 8. You are drawn to jobs that involve independence. Introverts are often drawn to careers that offer independence and autonomy, avoiding professions that demand constant social interaction. Instead, they thrive in roles where they can work autonomously and immerse themselves deeply in tasks without the need for extensive interpersonal engagement. Careers such as writing, accounting, computer programming, graphic design, pharmacy, and artistry align well with introverted traits. For instance, writers find solace in crafting narratives or informative content in quiet environments, while accountants excel in meticulous, numbers-focused work. Computer programmers thrive in coding and problem-solving independently, while graphic designers channel creativity into visual communication projects. Pharmacists manage medication dispensation and patient care behind the scenes, and artists express themselves through their work, often in solitary creative processes. By choosing careers that allow for solitary focus and independence, introverts can leverage their strengths and achieve professional fulfillment. Are there different types of introverts? While you might picture an introvert as a shy wallflower who prefers to stay home alone instead of socializing, introverts come in many forms with a wide variety of characteristics. The types include social introverts. This type of introvert prefers small versus large groups of people. They prefer a quiet night at home over a night out. Thinking introverts. Introverts in this category tend to spend a lot of time thinking. They are introspective and creative. Anxious introverts. Anxious introverts often feel unsettled or nervous around people during social interactions. Inhibited introverts. This type of introvert tends to overthink, spending a significant amount of time considering a decision before doing anything. You might find, however, that many introverts have a blend of qualities from among the 4 types. Many introverts also display qualities that you wouldn't think are typical of their personality type. For instance, there are plenty of introverts who enjoy socializing. You might even be surprised to learn that many people who you think of as social butterflies might actually be quite introverted. Are you born introverted, or is it something you become over time? According to clinical psychologist Monica Johnson, EID, whether introversion is an innate characteristic or shaped by environmental factors is complex. Scientific research suggests that personality traits, including introversion and extroversion, are partially inherited. 5. For example, studies of twins have shown that genetics can play a significant role in determining where we fall on the introversion-extroversion spectrum. However, the environment also plays a significant role in shaping these inborn tendencies. 6. Essentially, while the tendency towards introversion or extroversion is genetically predisposed, environmental factors and personal experiences can modify how these traits are expressed and experienced by the individuals. 7. Adds Johnson. How your body's physiology responds to the outside environment also plays a critical role in determining your level of extroversion and introversion. On a physiological level, a network of neurons located in the brainstem known as the reticular activating system regulates arousal levels, including wakefulness and transitions between sleeping and waking. The RAS also plays a role in controlling how much information you take in while you are awake. When confronted by potential threats in the environment, the RAS increases arousal levels so you can be alert and ready to deal with danger. Each person has a basic set point in terms of arousal level. Some people tend to naturally have a much higher set point, while others have a much lower set point. The psychologist Hans Eysenck suggested that these arousal levels could be thought of as a continuum. According to his arousal theory of extroversion, 15% of people have a minimal set point, meaning they naturally have low arousal levels. 15% of people have a high set point, meaning they naturally tend to be more aroused. 70% of people lie somewhere in the middle of the continuum. According to Eysenck's theory, introverts have naturally high levels of arousal. Because of these high arousal levels, introverts tend to seek activities and environments where they can escape from overstimulation. Alone time gives them the opportunity to process and reflect on what they have learned. Are you introverted or just shy? It is important to note that introversion does not necessarily equal shyness. In the development of shyness and social withdrawal, Louis Schmidt and Arnold Buss write, sociability refers to the motive, strong or weak, of wanting to be with others, whereas shyness refers to behavior when with others, inhibited or uninhibited, as well as feelings of tension and discomfort. 9. Shyness indicates a fear of people or social situations. Introverts, on the other hand, simply prefer not to spend lots of time interacting with other people. Introverts do appreciate being around people with whom they are close. They find engaging in small talk tedious, but do enjoy having deep, meaningful conversations. Introverts also tend to think before speaking. They want to have a full understanding of a concept before they voice an opinion or try to offer an explanation. Understanding the dimensions of introversion and shyness. Are you introverted or actually depressed? If you find yourself wondering, am I an introvert or depressed? It's important to know that anyone can experience depression, whether they are an introvert or extrovert. If you are withdrawing from social situations or activities to the point where you are feeling sad, anxious, depressed, or worried, this may be a sign of depression, regardless of your personality type. Some studies suggest that introversion may increase the risk of developing loneliness, depression, and anxiety. 10. If you are experiencing these or any other mental health concerns, be sure to talk to a doctor or mental health professional. Similarly, if you're wondering, am I an introvert or antisocial? Talking to a mental health professional can help you reach an answer. The main difference between being an introvert and being antisocial is that introverts are socially engaged in a way that feels comfortable to them, whereas those who are antisocial prefer not to be. Remember, people who are antisocial often find it difficult to live in a society where they are expected to have even small social interactions or behave in a socially acceptable way. If you're struggling with this, talking to a mental health professional can also help you determine whether your antisocial behavior is linked to a related mental health condition. Misconceptions about introverts. In an article in Atlantic Monthly, author Jonathan Rauch took on some of the common myths and misconceptions about introverts. While introverts are often labeled as shy, aloof, and arrogant, Rauch suggests that these perceptions result from the failure of extroverts to understand how introverts function. Extroverts have little or no grasp of introversion, Rauch suggests. They assume that company, especially their own, is always welcome. They cannot imagine why someone would need to be alone. Indeed, they often take umbrage at the suggestion. As often as I have tried to explain the matter to extroverts, I have never sensed that any of them really understood. According to estimates, extroverts outnumber introverts by about 3 to 1.1. Introverts often find that other people try to change them or even suggest something is wrong with them. While introverts make up a smaller portion of the population, there is no right or wrong personality type. Instead, both introverts and extroverts should strive to understand each other's differences and similarities. Can you stop being an introvert? The short answer is that you can't stop being an introvert or flip a switch to completely change the introverted aspects of your personality. However, if you find that you're frustrated with being an introvert, there are things you can do. For instance, if you find you're spending too much time alone, you might explore how you can socialize more in a way that feels good to you. If you're burning out too much from social interactions, you might learn self-care strategies that help you relax and recover. If you're struggling with being an introvert, it's okay to ask for help. In fact, talking to a mental health professional can be an excellent step to learn more about introversion. For instance, during a cognitive behavioral therapy session, a therapist can teach you healthy coping mechanisms for when you experience difficult emotions. They can also advise you on how to reframe negative thought patterns that might be holding you back. 12. introverts, extroverts, and ambiverts. We're all great. If you identify with some characteristics of introversion and some characteristics of extroversion, then there is a pretty good chance that you are an ambivert, one of the 70% of people who fall somewhere in the middle. Ambiverts tend to enjoy both spending time with others and spending time alone, 13 depending on the situation and their needs at the moment. Try Extrovert, Introvert quiz. If you're wondering where on the scale of introversion and extroversion you fall, this quiz can help. When deciding whether you're an introvert, extrovert, or ambivert, remember that one type isn't better than the other. Each tendency can have benefits and drawbacks depending on the situation. By better understanding your personality, however, you can learn how to play to your strengths. In one study of adult introverts, those who had strong social relationships and emotional regulation skills were found to be happier than those who did not have those skills. Make the most of your strengths by nurturing your close relationships in order to foster strong social connections, and utilize your tendency to look inward in order to develop solid emotional understanding.